Welcome back. So it's been long in the works and finally come to light. Search engine Google has launched its first Wi-Fi network in the Ugandan capital, Kampala. According to the web giant, the network is now live in 120 key locations in Kampala. It hopes that by improving internet capacity in the city, local telecom companies will then be able to offer faster, cheaper broadband access to their customers. It estimates that a one day's unlimited data using the new network should cost 1,000 Ugandan shillings, although local providers will decide how much they want to charge for the service. And while Ugandans welcome Google's presence, they wish high-speed internet could be more accessible to those in the rural areas. Many nations of the world have accepted technology rapidly, and Nigeria as a nation has seen the increasing need of global technology development. In recent times, government has taken some laudable initiative in technology development, but some experts believe that Nigeria is still investing enough in the area of technology and innovation development. Our youth development is still a critical issue because most university graduates do not have the right entrepreneurial and technological skills to be self-reliant and become employers of labor. Well, that's changing rapidly. Ayola Adefemi is a graduate of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology in Oyo State in Nigeria. He's one of the few who's been able to create a niche for himself in aeronautics. He joins us live now to discuss how his work and how it can be improved upon by government and private sectors. Ayola, thank you for joining us on Africa Tech here on Network Africa.
Hello.
Okay, great. So you can hear me. Let's hear about your journey, how you became an innovator.
Anyway, the journey has been easy, but to the glory of God, I've been able to do the little I could do, though that could be improved given the necessary support and encouragement. As I said, it has not been easy because there's been a lot of discouragement, very, very serious ones, because we happen to be in an environment where we don't really believe in the possible. We don't really believe in possibility. But I've done the little I could do, and thank God for some supporting people all around me who have really encouraged me, family, friends, relation, loved ones who have really been encouraging all the way, because I've started this thing quite a while. It's been some years that I've really started this journey of trying to make things work. It's engineering. It's just it's an in thing. It's not something I learned. People do ask me, did you learn this? I say, well, it's just part and parcel of me. It's what I would call it talent.
But really, what's your interest? I mean, you just mentioned that you don't have any basic knowledge in engineering. It's a passion for you. So why aeronautics engineering? Let's talk more about some of the things that you have produced so far.
Thank you. Aeronautics, as I said, was something that just was part of me. I've loved flying since I was younger, and I can remember a series of events that really motivated me to go deeper into this. There was some years ago, there were some air crashes, maybe like 3 in the year, and they were so fatal. I mean, in Nigerian air crashes, and they were fatal that year. And that year, the thing just spawned me like, why do we have to make? Why do we have to use planes that are made by other countries? Why can't we make all these things? Because it's when we make all these things locally that we can actually develop them to work for our environment. So sometimes it's always challenging for us to import technology and use them here without making them locally. So it's really spawned my interest in trying to make these things as local as possible, because that's what gives us the best result. So that's probably one of the things that really motivated me to going deeper into aeronautics.
And so what are some of the things that you have produced still, Ayola? You really don't want to blow your trumpet here, I understand, probably because of sponsorship and so on. But I'm looking at some of the footage that we have on some of the things that you have done. I can see something that looks more like a drone right there in the sky, and there are a few gadgets on the floor. So let's talk about that. You made these yourself.
Yes, I made many of these things, though I will have to acquire some materials to produce them. Like I'm holding a flying car here. It's a concept of, can't we make cars fly, to help our personnel, military personnel, because we have a lot of use. I've made drones, I've made cars, I've made bikes, I've made almost anything that moves. I've made them. But the idea that came to my mind was, what if our military could, their cars could actually take them closer to their action? What if their cars could could help them in taking area footage? And apart from the military, our emergency personnel, our emergency vehicles, instead of them having to get stuck in traffic trying to save lives, if they had a flying car, won't it have saved a lot of lives if they could just fly their car all the way from maybe an accident scene to straight to the hospital? That would really save a lot of lives. So that was what spawned this creation, the flying car. But I've built a lot of other things, like you were saying, the drone. It could be used for an area surveillance, which would have a lot of applications in agriculture, military, area filming. Journalists could use it. It would have a lot of applications. So I've made a lot of things. I've made bikes, I've made cars, I've made planes, I've made drones, I've made cars. So.
And it must be quite challenging though doing this, because I can imagine that getting the materials to produce these things, and these are just prototypes of what you expect to make much later, of course, when you have the right material. But this requires a lot of support though. So who's your backbone here? Who's your main benefactor?
Like I said, I've received little support from my closest family members, closest friends, those who really see my dreams, those who really see my passion. They have been the ones encouraging me. I've not really gotten much support from government, from governmental institutes, who are expected to be the main source of support. But from the closest people who really see my passion, who really see what I'm trying to achieve, they have been the major support that I've gotten so far.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Ayola. We do appreciate that you're joining us on the programs. Then we wish you well. If you decide to go ahead and further your studies and do aeronautic engineering for real this time, we will be here to encourage you. Thanks for joining us on the program. Well, as we end Network Africa, there have been reactions trailing the proposed move by the Senate to prohibit frivolous petitions. The Senate has reaffirmed its commitment to regulate abuses of social media. But the Senate had on Tuesday passed to second reading the bill seeking 2 years imprisonment with an option of 2 million naira fine for any Nigerian who posts abusive statements on social media. Our correspondent Linda Kigbe has more on this story.
The social media, an arena with open arms where everyone is welcome to interact, keep in touch, socialize, share ideas, or simply vent. No topic is off limits, social, political, and religious. And with just a click, a statement, thought, news, or opinion goes viral and can be accessed by a huge number of people. Many Nigerians access news and information from the social media. However, because the social media is unregulated, it's not clear how accurate some of the news stories in social media are. The Senate on Wednesday passed into second reading a bill seeking 2 years imprisonment with an option of 2 million naira fine for any Nigerian who posts abusive statements on social media. When the news of the proposed law hit the social media, the reactions poured in. Many Nigerians on several social media platforms criticized the bill. Mr. Musiliu Mujid works with an online news media. He says the proposed law is unnecessary.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's just a waste of time. Already, Nigeria has quite a lot of repressive media laws. You can sue for libel, you can sue for defamation. There is a cyber terrorism law which has just been passed. Whatever infraction there is in the media, there are laws that can deal with that. So why the duplication?
Not to be deterred, federal lawmakers, at the continuation of legislative proceedings on Thursday, insisted that some Nigerians are using social media to harass public officials.
While I celebrate the social media as one of their major actors, this Senate should not be blackmailed cowed by operators of the social media.
The Freedom of Information and the Cybercrime Act that we passed, these two laws need to be looked into with the view to addressing these abuses.
It is the biggest thing that has happened to us. It has held us in our elections. It has helped us to disseminate information. But the major problem has been the people who do not have any laid down rule as to what to do on the social media.
The Senate has referred the matter to its committees on ethics, communication, ICT and cybercrime to investigate and report back in 4 weeks. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
The first business of the day.
That's it on Network Africa today. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.